everyone, so today it is the 1st of January 2018, so Happy New Year. I hope you all had a great New Year's Eve and I hope that you all will have a lovely 2018. Now, for today, in this video, I'm going to talk about my two newest piercings, which are my forward helix piercing and my daith piercing. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Some people say daith, some people say daith. I think daith is the proper way to say it, if I'm even saying it correctly. So that's how I'm going to say it today. Okay, so I've had my forward helix piercing since September and my daith piercing since October, so they are not completely healed yet because these are cartilage piercings. They can take up to 9 months to heal and sometimes even longer. It really depends on the person. So just keep in mind that anything can still happen to them, but today I'm just going to talk about my experience with them so far. Firstly, I'm going to talk about my forward helix piercing since I've had that the longest. I've had it since September 9, so nearly 4 months now. I got this piercing done at a festival. I did get it done by a professional piercer. This was just a piercing place that went to this festival with a stand and I got it there. So I got it for a special festival price, which was around 20 or 25 euros, I believe, and usually these piercings are 30 to 35 euros. When I got this done, all I had to do was fill out this form saying that I'm over 16, which is the legal age to get pierced without parents' consent here in the Netherlands, and then I had to sit down on this bench. They marked where I wanted the piercing to go and then they just put the needle through. I don't think they used a clamp, I'm not completely sure. I wanted to make this video when I just got it so that it was fresh in my memory, but I didn't, so right now I'm not completely sure if they used a clamp or not, but I don't think that they did. So they just put the needle through and then they put the piercing in, and that was everything, and it was not painful, to me at least. I do have quite a high pain tolerance when it comes to piercing, so just keep that in mind. It didn't really hurt, it just stung the slightest little bit, and then after it was done, it was stinging for about half an hour, and it especially felt weird when the wind was blowing against it. When I was walking outside, then it felt a little bit sore, but other than that, it really wasn't bad. So then when I got home, I cleaned it off, and for about 2 days, there was a little bit of blood coming off of it, which is fine. But then it was all good, it didn't swell up or anything like that, but after 3 weeks I got a little tiny bump on it, which you can see right here. I think this is because the jewelry that I have in it is quite long, so it does move around a lot, which can cause little bumps. So I'll probably have to go to the piercing shop soon to ask what they can do about that, because I can't really change it because it hasn't completely healed yet. I'll just see what I can do about that, because it does kind of need to be fixed. I did put a no pull piercing disc on it to kind of help with it, but because the jewelry is so long, that doesn't really help. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty much everything that I got to say about the forward helix piercing, so now I'm going to talk about the daith piercing. Now, I actually got my daith piercing done in England, again at a professional piercing place, but I do think that in England, generally speaking, don't quote me on this, but I think in general, piercings are a little bit cheaper to get in England. Because I got this piercing for about 25 pounds, which is around 28 euros, and in the Netherlands, at most places, this piercing would be around 40 euros. So obviously, it always depends on where you get your piercing done to how much it will cost, but I'm just talking about most places. Now, even though this piercing was done in England, again, I had to fill out this form saying that I was over 16 or 18. I'm not even sure how old you're supposed to be in England, but I'm 20. I was 19 back then, so I can pretty much get piercings everywhere, I think. So yeah, I just had to fill out this form, and then I went into this little room and I had to lay down. I don't think I ever had to lay down for any of my other piercings, but for this one I had to, and then they just marked wherever I wanted it to go. Well, I can really only go at one place, I think, for this one. Your forward helix can go anywhere, but I think for a daith piercing it can only really go in one place. I'm not really sure, but I think so. So I didn't really get to choose where it was put, they just put it right where it is right now. For my forward helix piercing, I did get to choose where I wanted it. And by the way, for some reason I thought this piercing was going to hurt so bad. I don't know why, because like I said, I have quite a high pain tolerance when it comes to piercings, so I don't know why I thought it would hurt really bad, but for some reason the placement and everything made me think it would hurt really bad. And the piercer was marking where my piercing should go, and he noticed that I had quite a few piercings already, so he was like, it's probably going to be a piece of cake for you. And I was like, well, actually I think this one is going to hurt really bad. And he was like, well, it probably won't be bad, you'll probably just feel me feeling around your ear if anything. And I was like, well, I don't know. So then he marked everything and he put the needle through, and I was waiting for it to hurt, but it didn't hurt at all. I don't know why I thought it would, but it actually didn't at all. It was the least painful piercing I've ever had, even though, you know, none of my piercings really hurt, but there would always be a slight little sting or whatever. But this one, didn't have a sting, not even afterwards. I thought when he would put the needle through, maybe it would sting then, but it didn't. When he put the jewelry in, I didn't feel anything, and then afterwards, it didn't sting either. It wasn't until I went outside and the wind was blowing against it that I felt the slightest little pinch for a fraction of a second. But that was everything. There was no other pain whatsoever. Only when I would clean it, it would be the slightest bit sore because obviously it is still a fresh wound. But other than that, it never hurted. And when I was cleaning this one, which I do clean all of my piercings every single day, 2 times a day with a sea salt solution, not the healed ones obviously, but the ones that are healing. When I was cleaning it, there was not really any blood coming off of it, but there was a lot of pen coming off of it for several days. Even though I showered, even though I cleaned it, it didn't come off for several days. There was a lot of pen there, I think maybe because he wasn't using a clamp, he wanted to make sure that it was marked really well, so there was a lot of pen. I don't know why it was so difficult to come off, but it doesn't really matter. It was just pen and it was fine at the end, and I never had any problems with this piercing. There's no bumps or anything like that. This jewelry is bent at both sides, so that makes it so that it doesn't easily move around a lot, so that helps a lot too. I'm really happy that they used that type of jewelry. The only thing that happened was after about a week it swelled up the tiniest bit, but that went away after a day or two, and it was really not bad at all. So yeah, I haven't had any problems with this piercing, so I'm gonna knock on wood and hope that nothing bad happens to it, because obviously it's not healed yet, so anything could still happen with it. But right now I haven't had any problems and it has been a flawless process so far. Now what else can I say? Wearing earphones is absolutely fine. I didn't wear any for about 3 weeks, and then I put some in because I forgot that my piercing was there, and it was fine. I can wear earphones without it hurting or anything like that, so that's all fine. And other than that, they gave me a free bag of sea salt with my piercing, which is really nice. I use my own stuff, so I haven't used this yet, but I do think it's nice that they give you this. And I think that is pretty much everything that I got to say about this piercing, so that pretty much sums it up for this video. So I hope that I mentioned everything, and if you have any more questions about any of these piercings, then just leave them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them. I hope this video was somewhat informative and helpful, and I want to thank you so much for watching. And I'll hopefully see you later in my next video. Have a nice day. Bye!